Hi, today I want to show you an induction deep fat fryer from Royal Catering. So in order to show you how it works, I just prepared a sample dish which is sweet potatoes with sour cream and sweet chili. So let me just drop it in oil. And in the meantime, let's have a look up close at the machine. Alright, so first things first, couple of technical details. This device works with 3,500 watts, so it is very powerful. It is actually at the very edge of what a normal wall socket can handle. So this you have to be wary of, because when you plug it in, this has to be the only circuit it works on. If you connect anything else, it will just pop the fuses, so just be wary of that. Alright, apart from the power and the power plug-in, so you just plug in a normal wall socket, this device has a 10-liter capacity. It comes with a protective cover. Some use it as a splash cover, but I do not recommend it. I think it's more suitable as a protective cover after service when the oil is already cooled down. Why? Because when you're frying something and there's vapors coming out, they will condensate on the bottom of the tray and they will come back into the hot oil, creating more splashes, which is not good. Alright, I already popped this one up. This is something that lies on the very bottom of the device. It is a perforated tray that levels the basket, and of course it works as a sieve, so should anything fall out of the basket, it will go through the sieve, leaving the oil above nice and clear and won't come back on top. So that protects the oil and extends the longevity of the oil. Also, a very cool fact is that the basket, apart from the fact that it's really nicely fine woven, so not many things will fall through, so you're pretty safe. Then the other thing is it is welded, so it's not folded or anything. It's nice and solid, so you can grab it and even use heavy loads without risking that the basket breaks or anything or unfolds, right? Alright, so talking about the capacity. The fryer works with 10 liters of oil. It has the total capacity of 10 liters. A minimum capacity of 5 liters and a maximum working capacity of 8 liters. And this is something that you should always remember and always check before. If the level goes below a certain point, you have a marking there on the wall for minimum and maximum level, right? If it goes below minimum level, you won't achieve proper frying results. If something sticks out of the oil, it won't get fried, simply. If you go over the top, like, you know, if you have rest of the oil and to just tip it over and go over the max, when you have a full basket of something, of a product, you dip it in, it may go over the edge, all right? If it goes really below it, you're risking overheating. So that's also very important. All right, talking about overheating, let me just show you the back of the device. There you go. So should the device overheat for some reason, well, it may happen after, you know, many hours of service. If you let the oil go below the minimum level, it will turn itself off in order to preserve the device, preserve the mechanism. So it will pop the fuse, it will pop the safety. So you have a reset button hidden underneath a cap. So all you have to do is just let the oil cool down a little bit, wait for a few minutes, and then you can just press it. It will reset and you can start frying again. This is purely to save the mechanism from damage. Since I have it from the back, you also can see the main on and off switch. This is also a really cool feature. So once it is connected to electricity, after service, you can just pop this one after service and, you know, switch it off so it doesn't take any electricity, any power, which is pure savings. All right, in my research I've gathered some questions of the internet and I'd like to answer them because they keep on repeating. So for example, from Mark, how much time does the device need to reach maximum temperature of 190 degrees? So first to say, this device you can set between 60 and 190. 190 is the absolute maximum. And to answer the question from Mark, Well, that depends. It depends on the temperature of the oil you're starting with. If it's room temperature, well, it should take approximately 20 minutes to reach 190 degrees. If you're starting with slightly warmer temperature, of course, it will take shorter. Please note that it also varies depending on the fat you're using. So if you use solid fat, it will take slightly shorter. If you use liquid, runny fat, like fryer fat, it may take a little bit longer than that. But it all depends. But roughly 20 minutes. All right. From Harry, question. How many kilo of fries can we put in the fryer? How does induction work? So there's actually two questions. To answer the first question, well, that's also relative. The producer says it's about 750 grams of fries per one frying. But, well, it depends on the size of your fries. For instance, with my sweet potatoes, I put around 1 kilogram of potatoes into the fryer with no problem whatsoever. So it depends rather on the volume. And you shouldn't exceed more than half of the size of the basket. So once you have half of the basket, that's pretty much it. It also depends how much oil you are having. So that's about it. All right. Betty, does the fryer turn itself off if you forget to turn it off? It's a very interesting question, and there's also two answers to that. There's two modes this device operates with. It has a constant mode, and you have a timer mode. So if you go on constant, well, it won't turn itself off. It will work until you turn it off mechanically, physically. If you work on with the timer, and that is something which is unique for the induction fryer, it is very fast to heat up. So I wouldn't even dare doing that with a normal conventional fryer, because it will just simply take too long. With an induction fryer, the heating up takes really quickly, so you can turn on the timer. When the timer runs out, it will turn itself off. And that brings me back to the question how induction works. How induction works? It's very simple. Basically, underneath the tank, the oil tank, there is a spiral creating an electromagnetic field, and this field puts in motion all the particles in the metal. So it's sort of the vibrating creates all the heat. You can assume that it's not a spot where it heats up, it just heats the whole tank. Of course, the vibrations are less here on the top. They're stronger on the bottom, so of course the bottom will heat up faster, but then again, it's the whole tank that heats up the oil. That's why it is so fast. All right, well, next question I have. What is the basket made of? Well, I assume it is stainless steel with a nice chrome coating. So it looks nice, it's easy to clean and maintain. Also very durable, and it doesn't react with oil nor with the food. Question from Mariusz, how to clean the device? That is a very good question as well. You want your kitchen appliances as clean and spotless as possible, and with this one you have a very convenient tap that you can drain the oil with. So what you have to do, you just put a vessel underneath it, a container of sorts, just make sure it's not plastic, because when the oil is hot it will simply melt it. Just make sure it's metal or something really durable and heat resistant. And well, you should drain the oil while it's still, at least chilled down from maximum temperature. But if you do it when it's hot, it's slightly faster, and chefs tend to do that. Please note, there is no heating element like in a conventional fryer, so there's no place where dirt can accumulate. The bottom is nicely sloped, so everything just runs smoothly into the tap and goes through the tap. So you just open it up just like that, just lift the safety, open it up, let it drain, and afterwards just close it. The inside of the tank, from my perspective and from my experience, it's best to clean it with oil. So what you do, you just simply wipe it dry with a piece of paper towel. You can rinse it out with oil, let it flow through, and so on. For a very thorough clean, you can fill it up with water, Add a bit of a detergent like soap or dishwashing liquid. Let it heat up for a little bit, not too much, and then you just scrub it down and make sure you just drain it really properly and dry it with a paper towel. That's it. All right. That's pretty much all the questions. So let me just show you how the controls work. My sweet potatoes should be done already. Yeah, they're pretty close to it. So let me just quickly show you how the controls work. So, just for the purpose of the exercise, I'll turn it off. When you turn the main switch on, let me just show it to you. It will give you that beep. That means that you have power on. Then you press the on and off button on the display. When you hear the beeping and you have that sensor blinking, it means you have to check the oil level. Once you checked it, I reckon my oil level is perfect. You press it, the beeping stops. The device from default goes on 120 degrees. But you can change the temperature with minus and plus buttons. So in my case of my potatoes, I'll just pop it up to 160 degrees. When you heating up, you have two indicator lines for heating. So this device, this indicator indicates that the heating element starts working and it's heating the oil. Once it reaches the temperature, it will jump on keep warm. And let me just tell you about the timer function. So when you go on timer, you can set the time in 30-second jumps. So let's say my potatoes still need 30 seconds, okay? So you see the display blinking. Once it stops blinking, means that it memorized the temperature. When the timer runs out, it will give you that signal and it will turn the fryer off. So pure savings. All right, but my potatoes are done, so I'll just quickly stop the fryer, turn it off, take out the potatoes. One thing I haven't mentioned, so the basket has sort of like two hooks there, so you can hinge it on this shelf here, especially to do that. So you can hang it up there. Give it a bit of a shake just to get rid of excess oil. And let me just quickly prepare the dish. So a bit of extra shake into a bowl. Make sure you season it right. Sweet potatoes love seasoning. So lots of salt, bit of pepper, and I have the Mexican style, so Cajun spice, lots of coriander and capsicum. Give it a bit of a shake just to spread the spices. I have a plate ready, so just plate up. They're really nicely brown, golden brown, covered with seasoning, nice and spicy. So that will make a great snack, great side dish, and great party food. All right, so let me just give it to the always hungry camera guy. There you go. Please enjoy. Well, and I thank you very much for all your questions. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you next time.